Hi guys, welcome back to Linda's Pantry. So what you're looking at is my little favorite skillet. I'm getting ready to saute some kale down. I cheated and bought a bag of kale. I don't know, let me see. The bag of pre-washed, triple washed kale from Trader Joe's. And oh, so good. It's all cleaned and trimmed and perfect. And you don't have any throwaway, which, you know, the chickens and the rabbit are probably going, hey man, what about us? But I went to Trader Joe's today and I don't get to go very often. Whoa. Hello. And there's no water on that. I don't understand why that's going on, but anyway, it is real life and it is my kitchen. And it is what I'm going to be cleaning up later. Anyway, I only need a couple cups of it down. It wasn't damp at all, so I don't understand why it really popped like that, other than that pan is screaming hot. And so, that being said, I'm going to move on. They don't trim theirs as well, I guess, as I'd like. I take that woodier stalk out, especially for this application, because this is going in a dish I call spaghetti bake. And so that's what we're having tonight, spaghetti and meatball bake. Now you can get sassy with me. So there's some minced garlic. And we're going to get that all sauteed up. And just kind of wilt this a little bit because we don't want to cook it. It's going to finish cooking in the oven. Smells amazing already. Ooh. Okay. And guess what we get to use? Some Parmesan Reggiano Parmigiano. Yep, that's it. You got it. I'm excited. Okay, so set that down. I have my spaghetti over here and then pot next to this. I'm going to check it. I want it way shy of al dente. And you'll understand why. And it is done. So I'm going to get that drained off, saute this down a little bit, and I'll bring you over to the other workstation and we'll get busy. Okay, be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. I preheated my oven. My little on-the-counter oven, I preheated that to 375, 350, 375. Mine, I think because it's smaller, it tends to run a little cooler. You know, they don't hold their heat as well, but I love that. Okay, bring in my kale over that's cooked down with the garlic, and this pan is hot. I don't know why I thought I could pick it up. And I'm going to put that down over this spaghetti that's about halfway cooked. Maybe 3/4 of the way to al dente. For a minute I thought I'd overdone it, but I didn't. And I'll show you what I mean. When you pick up one of the noodles, it doesn't bend as readily as spaghetti would bend. It's still got some stiffness to it. And when you bite into it, in the very, very middle, there's a little bit of bite. So, trust me, that's what you want. And I have some of my frozen meatballs. Oh, these are so good. I'm going to put these down. I've got fresh parsley and a ton of mozzarella cheese. I don't know who I thought I was going to feed. Anyway, I've got a can of diced tomatoes. And these are organic tomatoes. I get these at Costco. And a can of Classico tomato and basil spaghetti sauce, or a pasta sauce. Doesn't have to be spaghetti, but then I'm going to come over to my pasta water, because we still have all this good pasta water. It's salted slightly, and I'm going to add that in because we have to finish cooking the spaghetti. Now I love doing this. It breaks up the everyday spaghetti. It adds some green in there. I'm only adding half of my Parmesan because, you guys, I have another casserole dish, so I guess I did know who I was feeding. And then I'm going to go ahead, you know, we'll take this for lunches. You could freeze this if you'd like. And this is really a budget meal. Spaghetti, if you buy it at Costco, it is inexpensive, it's delicious, and you are stretching $1. So, I'm gonna make 2 casserole dishes. Here's the other one. Not quite half of the pasta's in there. I'm gonna open another can of the, this one is not gonna have the kale down in it. So, darn it. Maybe, you know, I might saute some more kale, but it'll be okay. A few less meatballs in that one. And then we want some pasta water, so my spaghetti can continue to cook. And we'll put some down in this one too. And so good. Maybe even pour some of that pasta water in this sauce jar. Just so we get every little bit. And you know, this could have very easily been home canned pasta sauce. I get kind of greedy this time of year because I haven't, you know, we've used it all winter. And so, yeah, you tend to get a little bit on the greedy side because you're almost out. But this is a way to stretch a whole jar of pasta. I got these organic diced tomatoes at Costco this last week they ended up to be 76 cents a can. That's unheard of. It's so reasonable. So I was very happy. I need to get some diced tomatoes on that one, and I'll be right back with the Parmigiano Reggiano, and we'll get busy again. Okay, so I'm back finally, and while I was at Trader Joe's, I picked up this beautiful artisan baguette, and I'm gonna cut this, you know, about a ½ inch thick at an angle, just to make it pretty. And for those of you that are gonna ask, I got my orange knife. I love those questions, don't get me wrong. But I got my orange knife at Costco in a set with my colored knives, and I love them. Very sharp. So I'm cutting this, and normally we have like we're gonna have some garlic bread, and we'd have garlic bread down with this pasta dish. I did add more kale to both, and anyway, this just is gonna be so good. You don't even know what you're waiting for. It's gonna be amazing. Okay, so I'm cutting this baguette. As I get it cut down, let's see. Might as well cut the whole thing, even if I don't use the whole thing. I want to make sure that I get it down in here. Get it all cut so I don't have to mess up another board. But I've tasted this bread and it is really, really good. And it was so inexpensive. Trader Joe's is such a good bargain for certain things. I mean, like any of their organic vegetables, they're really reasonable. I don't know. I really, really enjoy having that convenience. So what I'm going to do now, and this might surprise you how this comes into play, but we'll assemble this one for you, and then we'll do the other one off camera. So I've got I want some sauce in there, not just to cook the spaghetti, but I want it to, and I'm just going to put down a little more pasta sauce, just a couple tablespoons, and that's really well salted water. I always drizzle some olive oil down in the pan, and I'm going to nestle this bread right on top. This is my meatball spaghetti bake. So good. And it's really fun to, you can do this, you could do these in chunks too if you wanted. I've done that before, just cut these all up in cubes or chunks, but I kind of want everybody to have their own piece of garlic bread. So now I'm just going to drizzle some extra virgin olive oil down over each piece of bread. And, ooh, doesn't that look amazing? Okay, and then we need a little bit of garlic powder. And again, you know, usually I'd use mine, but I'm going to go ahead and use some of this. I'm trying to use up some of the store-bought stuff so I can get away from that and wean myself off of that convenience. Anyway, so I've got some garlic powder down over that bread that's been drizzled. And now we go to the Parmigiano Reggiano. And we're just going to coat every piece of bread. And if it falls through the cracks, so be it. You gotta know that this is going to be amazing. I love this. Now, because we've got the cheese and the oil and all that on top, you can't really, and I do want some of this to go down in between the pieces of bread and get down into the actual dish. So I'm pretty generous with the Parmesan. Now, I don't want this to get too brown before the inside is cooked, right? So I'm going to put some parchment paper down on top, and then some aluminum foil, and it's very pretty. And while you guys are gone, when I do the other one, I'll take pictures of that one for you. I'll remind you of how much you want this dish. This has just been a fun family favorite. Everything, all you got to do is have a salad. I don't have to worry about burning the bread. Because I don't know about you, but I know there's a few cooks out there that tend to burn French bread under the broiler. I'm not allowed to use that. So there you go. There's my finished product. It's going in a 375-degree oven until it's just bubbly, and you know, the spaghetti's going to absorb all that extra pasta water and juice from the tomatoes and pasta sauce, and the cheese is going to melt and get ooey gooey. And then we're going to take, when it's almost done, when I feel like it's ready, I'm going to take the top off and brown that bread off, and we'll have our bread. All we need is a salad. All right, you guys, I'll be back. Look at that. Oh my goodness. If you can match that picture with smell-o-vision, woohoo, it's amazing. I'm going to set you down here. Sorry for the movement. I'm going to get you set up for a great picture of what we're having. Maybe I'll set you back here a little bit and bring you in for a closer look. So it smells like Italy in here. I just called my husband, and he's so buried with a big job bid that he probably won't be home until after midnight. It's already 8 o'clock. And so I'm going to dish up a little bit for me so I can show you what we're having, and then I'll dish a plate up when it cools down really well. I'll dish a plate up for him and put it in the fridge. All he has to do is, I'll have a microwave cover on it, and all he has to do is heat it up. So that being said, this dish it's done. You have toast on top, but yet there's a little soggy bottom because it starts sopping up some of that delicious sauce. And it's spaghetti, so you want to have some sauce, right? And then I'm gonna try to get out just a little bit. This is still pretty hot. It's still really hot. And remember, we have kale, and look at that cheese. We have kale and we have cheese that's just gonna come down on our plate and make it amazing. I'm gonna go ahead and, just because I can feel and see a small mess. No, I'm going to dish this up off camera because I don't know how messy this is going to be. And I want it to be pretty for you guys. So, and appetizing, I want it to inspire you. And so I'll be right back. I'm gonna dish that up on that plate and I'll bring you right back. And if it's not so bad, maybe I'll bring you back early. Okay, that's cheating, huh? Okay, you're back early. I'm just gonna bring you in and whatever happens, happens. I've cut it and now I'm just taking it right over to the plate. And we've got delicious mozzarella, yum. And we had this piece of bread kind of dove in, but yeah, we might as well have, oh my gosh, look at that. Who doesn't want that on their plate? Nobody here is gonna say, So, look at that, it's very pretty. I'm gonna zoom in on that and give you a really good close-up of what it looks like when you get in there. There you go. And now we got my plate. Woohoo! Wow, that looks so good. And it's really hot, so I'm taking my time here. I got a meatball and a meatball hidden under there. Got my toasty bread. Oh, okay, I'm gonna set you up, zoom in a little bit so you can get a really good shot at it. And then maybe by then I can take a bite. I was gonna serve this with a really nice salad, but I'm not sure that, well, my husband's probably just gonna want this and call it good. So, there you go. We have this beautiful plate and baked spaghetti and meatballs. I don't know how much easier you can get. Whoops. We're gonna bring this down. Let's get a meatball here. Cut that. A little kale, a little diced tomato, and some spaghetti. And we'll take a bite of that, and then I definitely want to taste the bread for you, because that's the bomb. Okay. Well, here we go. Hot or not. Wow. That is amazing. I don't even know how to say it, but it's so good. You know, and I don't want to pick my bread up. So I'm going to get in there with a knife, because the bottom part, it's been soaking up all that sauce, and the top part's all crispy, and this was kind of a crunchy baguette anyway. So I'm just gonna grab some of that sauce and the bread and give you a nice visual of what that looks like. Yum. Wow. It's my favorite. This is so easy to put together. How delicious for guests to have this beautiful plate of spaghetti. And it's a spaghetti bake. They can just go take how much they want, cut off a section. You could make this a little drier. I like it a little saucy, so I have something for my bread to kind of soak up. But you could make it drier so it was really more of a casserole consistency. This is absolutely delicious. I highly recommend it. I hope that this inspires you to step outside the box. This was a little different than the norm, and we had fun with it. We're going to enjoy this, and I have a whole nother casserole dish ready to go, ready and waiting for the rest of the week. It made a lot of food on a budget. So as I was saying last night, that this meal truly didn't cost me that much. I'm pretty sure it's well under $12 for two of these nice big casseroles. And enough to feed a really big family a couple of nights. So I'm gonna taste this for breakfast. But I want to get this video uploaded for you. Doesn't that look good? Yum. It's even better the next day. My gosh. Sorry, I'm a little hoarse voice because I just woke up a little bit ago. Okay. Wow. I don't even mind that for breakfast. Oh, wow. Okay. So I hope this inspires you. I hope that it challenges you to step outside the box. Spaghetti doesn't have to be in the traditional sense necessarily. That pasta can be used in many other applications. And so I hope you come back and see me next time. We've got a lot of videos coming up. And I hope you give me a thumbs up if you like this. And if you really like it, go ahead and post it on your Facebook page. All right, you guys. God bless.